When you think of a customer service worker, only one image comes to mind. Without a doubt, you're envisioning a burnt-out high schooler with a blank expression and the patented yet very obviously fake customer service voice. And when their tired eyes stare into your soul as they hand you a soggy brown paper bag containing the most underwhelming and squished burger humanity has ever seen, you may be thinking to yourself, why do they look so depressed? The question is valid, of course. I mean, you're spending the final fleeting years of your childhood crying into an empty wallet and slaving away behind a sizzling oil fryer while your bitter middle-aged manager scolds you for not working hard enough. Who wouldn't be having the time of their life? Well, fellow middle-class consumer, I don't want to brag, but I'm sort of an expert when it comes to losing all faith in humanity. After all, I too spent a year and a half working at a busy cafe chain, and I'm here to provide an insider's perspective as to why these poor workers seem to have lost the light in their eyes. Hey there, I'm Parako, and welcome to my silly little art channel. If you're interested in art tips, challenges, or just enjoy my art in general, feel free to stick around. And hey, maybe drop a like and subscribe if my channel seems like your type of thing. Okay, thanks! Reason number one, they don't get paid enough for this, especially not in today's economy. Try and think like a teenager for a brief moment. Not only is there an unending desire to keep up with your friends, social media, and its fleeting trends with whatever $80 water bottle is popular right now, you have to buy a car. And driving lessons to go with it. And have enough money for a decent education after school. And then think about moving into your own place in less than a decade. Now try doing all that while simultaneously making $13 an hour. Pretty tough, huh? The reason why employers have their fast food chains rampant with teenagers and young adults is because they're young, exploitable, and the cheapest option. A 16-year-old isn't going to know how many shifts it's legal to take on, a 16-year-old isn't going to know how much pay is too little, and a 16-year-old isn't going to know when they're being taken advantage of. A 16-year-old will just be grateful to have a job. And so said 16-year-olds have no choice but to take up extra shifts just to make it by. Imagine that, being at work all day, every day, when you're not tirelessly studying, of course, just to be paid with whatever loose change your employer can find under the mat in his or her car. Which brings me to my next point. Reason number two, they're forced to either drop out or balance school and work. Right now, even though I'm technically unemployed, I'm still overworked by the overwhelming roller coaster known as Year 12. I have to study for at least 3 hours a day, and that's after 6 hours of school, just to keep up with the relentless avalanche of assessments, assignments, and exams. Keep in mind that this is all while finding the time to socialize, exercise, and engage in my hobbies. Now, if you bring a part-time job into the picture, the whole ordeal becomes reminiscent of a jester juggling the 3 flaming batons of school, work, and mental health in some sort of hellish circus. And it can make you feel like a clown too. My co-workers back at that busy cafe often found themselves inevitably falling behind in their classes or dropping out of school entirely, leaving their education behind because ultimately making any sort of living was more important. I myself ended up quitting because, as you can imagine, it wasn't exactly doing wonders for my mental health. Of course, despite these poor workers already suffering enough, it somehow gets even worse. Bringing me to my final point. Reason number 3, they have to deal with constant berating and lack of respect from the very customers they're serving. If I had $1 for every time I was nearly brought to tears because a grown adult has yelled at me just for doing my job, believe me, I'd have never needed to work in the first place. Listen, Margaret, I'm sorry your caramel macchiato was 1 degree Celsius too hot for your sensitive tongue. I didn't even make it. I'm just the waitress. It's sickening how many mature adults don't see customer service workers as human beings with feelings and flaws. They just see them as, well, customer service workers. Robots made in a factory with the sole purpose of being useful, and if they mess up, they're defective and deserve to bear the brunt of whatever pent-up anger the consumer has inside of them. You may be thinking, oh, but we're the ones paying their wages. They should be grateful we're even buying there. And if that's seriously the thought process justifying that disrespect, I feel sorry for you. It's such a sad, ignorant, and plain bitter mentality to have. How about you try just an hour behind a cash register or waiting tables or behind the mic on a drive-thru? Trust me, you'll never be the same. Customer service workers don't hate you because they're just bitter, moody, emotional teenagers who don't respect adults anymore. Customer service workers hate you because they're broke, overworked, burnt out, suffering, and newsflash, they don't really enjoy it when you don't treat them like human beings. Here's a bit of homework. Next time you're ordering a coffee before work or a quick morning hash brown, stop and think. Think about the kid, the person behind the apron. Think about how much they go through on a daily basis just to make it through life. And do yourself and them a favor and treat them with respect. Tell them they're doing a good job. Thank them. It's the bare minimum.